Your time to make the call is now. It's fourth and late at the 8.
Fourth and late at the 8.5
Yeah,
tonight
fourth and even
because
later.
we're extra late. Fourth and even later at the 8er. 8.5 yard line, 8.5 o'clock, whatever you would like to call it. We are back. We're here. I'm Jimmy J's hair.
I am Landry's legend. You can call it my computer's fault.
We had a crash and burn at 7:58 or 7:59. Fun stuff. That's always good when your stuff goes kaput right before live. That makes it fun. And so we're a half hour late, but that's okay because it's fourth and late at the 8:30. Coach, there's lots of speculation. Tonight we have to talk trade move up, trade move down. Um we're talking Arizona. Remember, Coach told you just a couple weeks ago I was looking at Tennessee, and then all of a sudden reports come out that the Cowboys have talked to Arizona about number 3.
That's true.
So we're gonna
And
talk about
it's
all that.
yeah.
But you get welcome in. You guys, if you're here with us, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do the right thing, spam responsibly, and feel free to go 774 on your dial pad, 290 right after that on your dial pad, and then 2200 to complete it on the dial pad, and it will call us and we will get you on the show. And then you just dial into pin number Cowboys, which is 2692697. If you can't spell, because we can't be on time, so we can't blame you for not being able to spell. So enjoy your Friday. You know what helps you be on time, coach, sometimes?
What's that?
Energy. You know what gives you energy?
Black Rifle Coffee.
It's the number one drink in America. There you go.
Right.
You even said that you said the whole thing, Black
No, I knew
Rifle
specifically.
coffee.
Yeah.
Specifically, right? Because coffee is the number one drink in America. And the number one coffee in America is Black Rifle coffee. And if you want to get yourself some, you'll see some links on below our page, on the page where you can definitely get it, and it will help out the show. And we hope to get them on as endorsements and sponsors one day. And listen, I like to say, because it's got all the good stuff. If you check it out, it's triple tap, the extra focus, right? The 300 milligrams of all the kinds of different things that are great for you. And so what it does when it puts all those great things in you, it sends all the bad things out of you. I know those aren't fun things to talk about over the air and while you're on live, but you have to. So just in case. Okay. We won't go any further than that. So we're going to discuss a lot, but we're just going to be casual. Coach, long week. I know it was for me. How you feeling?
A long week. I don't know. I feel like the weeks are going by faster and faster as the days tick down towards the draft. It kind of snuck up pretty quick from the Super Bowl, I think.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I could feel that way. Yeah, you remember?
You feel like
I
it's a
guess
month and a half
I've
away still?
dude. Well, remember
You can't
last
do
week I
40
said
mock drafts a day and think it's going to come by quick. It's like a kid twiddling his thumbs. Are we there yet?
I can't handle it. Um, no, happy Easter, guys in chat. Happy Easter. No, it's bad because I think I'm so far ahead. Remember last week I was like, "Oh, we're only like 21 or 22 days," and you were like, "Well, I think it's still like a full like 28 days." And I was like, "No, it's only 22, isn't it?" And you're like, "No, it's still a whole month." And I'm like, "Ah," so I think that's I've just been trailing the whole time, so I feel like it's forever. I feel like it should be 10 days away and it's still 20
Well,
plus.
I mean, before we get to possible trades and other Dallas Cowboy topics, there's other sports world things going on that we were talking about. We still have the Masters coming up. That's this next Thursday, right? That'll be the
Right.
first day of the Masters.
Yep.
Very excited about that. Don't know about our watchers or listeners. Um, and
Tiger's not playing. Enjoy Mountain Dew.
yeah, that's UConn is into the final, into the national championship, and there's somewhere right after we ended up going on here is when the other game started. So we'll poke our head in on that as we talk and catch the tail end after the show, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll see because it depends. If these guys,
May not be
if
off
these
yet.
guys grow a couple pair of cojones and give
Hey,
us a call tonight, because it typically seems that once we get into the show around the 40-minute mark, 50-minute mark, we're like, look, we're gonna have an hour show, and then right around the hour mark, people are flooding in. We start to see people coming on the conference line, looking like they may call. So it's like this may be a 2-3 hour show tonight, guys. We see other content creators do it. We're thinking about it. Hang with us if you can. If you can't, I understand. Uh, Tomorrow is Easter, so I'm sure people got some plans and whatnot. Be safe on your travels. We wish and pray for all the best travels for everybody's safety, getting to their families and back home to their houses. It's funny when we talk about you know Easter Sunday. We've never had a football game on Easter, which is probably good. I think those two should be separated. But Easter brings up historic Sundays, just in as far as mankind goes. So when we talk about historic Sundays, NFL wise, it was 2 Sundays from now that we drafted. Oh, exactly how many years ago is it? I would have to go look exactly how many years. I was gonna pop quiz you on this one, Coach. Um, Basically on this coming up on the Sunday of this coming up draft, it's gonna be the 24th. I think is gonna be that Sunday or 5th because the draft starts on the 23rd, right?
25th will be Sunday.
Right, the 25th will be Sunday. So on the 25th, I think exactly 31 years ago, it said, or something like that, was when. Oh man, forgot about the article.
I lied, Saturday, because it
Um,
starts on a Thursday. Forget that. Not important.
really, what
25th
was
will be
it?
a Saturday, but
Right. Anyway, we drafted. Oh goodness, now I'm
I don't.
drawing a blank.
Okay. Everybody. I mean, we drafted everybody on this day.
No,
Like
but
like
specific.
this is when the draft has always been. So I don't know where you're going.
No, but I know, but specifically in the later rounds on the last day. My dogs are going absolutely crazy.
Insane.
You hearing them?
Yeah.
Here, let me mute for a second. Get that taken care of.
Let me take a look at the other side here. After the problems, we came on here so quickly, I didn't have a chance to log all the way in so I could see what's going on the back end and so forth.
Sorry about that, guys. The animals will be animals. They will bark. They will chirp. So will we. Sometimes dogs have to be dogs. Right now, my dogs are being dogs. And in the NFL, sometimes dogs have to be dogs. And I hope the ones in our locker room show up this year when we're talking about dogs. Let me ask you this, Coach.
Mhm.
When we're talking about that guy, right? Like the one I'm talking about, that dog. Who's that in this draft?
Are you talking about trading up to as high as 3 with the Arizona Cardinals
N
and those type of
No, I
rumors?
just
Is
mean
I
out of
mean,
all the prospects we've kind of looked at and kind of scouted and kind of, maybe seen an interview here and there and kind of know a little bit about, who would you consider like the locker room, like dog, like the Ray Lewis, the attitude, just carries that demeanor out of this group of guys,
I haven't
or at
seen as
least the
much.
most.
I haven't seen as much interview stuff as I have tape. Um,
Yeah, play.
yeah. At this point, it's usually once the Cowboys draft a player that I'm looking to consume every bit of personal, attitude
Right.
information. Since I can't be involved in that in drafting the players, and they just draft the players, then that's when I
You're just
concern
trying to
myself with
scout
it.
who we're looking at. Yeah.
But I see what you're going, at. I would think Jermon McCoy. Yeah, but it's all tape
Okay.
based. It's not interview. Like I said, it's all tape based.
Sure. The dog on the field. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Oh, he's a couple. There's a few man coverage reps where he's punking people, and it looks like he's in position to ahead of time and potentially told them that he was going to Larry Bird style right before it happened. It looks
No,
impressive.
the tape is astounding. Listen, for everybody to be in consensus that his last year's tape was better than anything put on film this year, when I believe
Any
Mansoor
other
Delane
DB.
and
Yeah.
Avion Terrell put a lot of good things on film. Mansoor
Hmm.
Delane,
Well, Chris
had a
Johnson
clean sheet of a
also.
year. Dang. Right. Oh yeah, sure. Out of a smaller school, but yes, absolutely,
Smaller
you're
school, but
correct.
like you said, that
Um,
5 week segment where he's the best corner in the country.
the highest graded corner in all of college football for 5 straight weeks, I think it was. And then, like I said, Mansour Lane basically having as clean of a sheet as you can for a corner. You know what I mean? Big plays, didn't give him up. It just and so for them to say that last year's film is still way better, as long as he's healthy, he's better than any of these guys. You're
Hey,
right
and
about
and
him
as
being the
far as
dog
that
on the
goes,
field.
as long as he's healthy, um, March 31st passed, and he
It
had
did.
a pro
We were
day.
talking about
So
that. He did, and it was a
four
good one. Four three
three
eight
eight 3-8,
on the
yeah.
dasher.
Yeah.
4.38 on the 40-yard dash.
Other good
Had the
numbers.
ninth highest broad jump out of corners, and I believe was it the 11th most uh is the 11th best cone, or was it the 11th best bench or something like that out of DBs.
I don't know.
Anyway, he
He
was
did a
like
broad
top
jump.
12
It
in all
was
metrics,
good.
top
He did a
yeah,
10-7
top
broad
10
jump or
in most
something.
of them. No. And one of the fastest 40s, so outside of uh Avion Terrell. Avion, which he ran a or no, it was Colton Hood. I'm sorry, it was Tennessee's other corner who actually ran the faster 40. It was a 4.36
Got all the
or
corners in
4.35, Colton
Tennessee.
Hood. Yeah, they got some speed over there. So it's I agree with you. He's the dog on the field. If you to kind of answer the question I was going for, dog in the locker room, because I'm with you. I haven't seen as many interviews and like know as much of these players like personally as far as how they talk, their demeanor. Obviously, we don't know how they are in the locker room. We can only speculate and listen to other coaches and teammates. But that is kind of a little bit of what I've done because I read a lot more
Hmm.
on these prospects than anything.
I
I
know
feel
about
like
the
I can
CJ
scroll through
Allen,
words
the
quicker than
CJ
I
Allen
can
thing, and the
scroll
and
through
the and the
film.
earning the term, the nickname DC. That's the type of thing you're referring to. I know those
Sure,
types
yeah, I
of the
try to
little
find out little
personality trait
little
things.
nuance of informations. Yeah, and so with the digging that I've done, I think honestly the dog in this one is Arville because he's the one that's always fixing to talk it like, watch, bro, I'm the best out here. Watch, and that's the energy I get from what I've read. He's just he believes he's the best player. Well, I mean, all these guys do, right? But he talks himself up. No, I'm going to come in and be defensive MVP and blah 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 blah. So he's the guy that's fixing to if you think you're better than him, he's going to try to make you prove it, and maybe you can. But I think he's got that dog energy. So funny you bring this up, Coach, because this
Now, come
when
on
the
now.
Cowboys say they were on the phone with the Arizona Cardinals,
Hey, that didn't
and
that didn't look like Micah when he turned and covered downfield 40 yards for the first time. You're like, good lord, how was he
oh no, he
even
moves
pretending to
so
run
smooth for a big guy.
with a receiver? Okay, so like, where's the? I just
Yeah.
I
Now
don't
this
even
is
I
now
can dude, I cut it
that
off right there. That's how different that like now
now
somebody
listen.
I'm sure if Jay Tuck's in the room right now, there's something else to his game, which is why it
Oh, well,
looks
there's a
like
couple
that.
other pieces of film, and I'll be the first to admit that when it comes to, and I was just trying to
That's
break
the
down
whole
that night when
bag,
we were
Drew.
talking about that. Well, that's the bend and like that's a really unique to pass rush like element. But as far as like if you just
He
watch
said he's a
Arvell Reese do other drills, he moves like he's like a human gazelle.
sounds
He's
like
like
he
I
moves
don't
like
know.
a real good linebacker though, and he wants to play defensive end.
He wants to be able to play it all, and he can. And that's what remember. That's kind of what I said. I said there is a world where Arvell Reese in 2 or 3 years from now is a better pass rusher than Ruben Bain
Right?
because of the just straight up God given gifts that he has, just
Mm-hmm.
the pure athleticism, right? All the traits. But coming into this year, Ruben Bain is a couple steps ahead as far as rushing the passer than Arvo Reese as of right now today, and I'm confident in saying that. But like I said, there's a world where Arvo Reese becomes better. Um, but Ruben Bain just the way he wins with strength, pure strength. The arms don't matter if you have your hands on his chest and he's strong enough to just move you back by you being connected to him in any way, then it didn't matter if he put his hands on you. And you just showed in that tape right there the bend ability, the way he gets low, he takes one step to turn around you. It's hard to even put your hands on him. So his instinct and strength is it's levels above a
What were you
bunch above
asking
a
about
people,
just before we
a
came
lot
on
of
the
people.
show? If I could pull up, or how long it would take me to pull up?
Oh goodness, what was that? Um,
It was-
I know we were talking about a ring, just in case when somebody dials 774-290-2200 and calls the show and participates. What was it though that I was seeing if you could pull up?
I know it was right as we were kind of reconnecting from the.
Yeah. I know we were going to speculate here in just a little bit on, of course, the potential Arizona trade and what that might cost. What the consensus out there say, what the draft value chart says, what PFF says, and just even speculate what an Arizona trade looks like since it's being talked about
The whole screen
because
says Cowboys trading
the
up for a
Cowboys,
star. So we might. I mean, we might as
and
well
you'll get
get there.
one
You
if you go
proposed.
to.
I'd have to look specifically on YouTube, but I'm going to say you proposed. Oh, 10 to 12 days ago, trading up with the Titans, and that was on YouTube. You honestly had speculated it, in private a few days before that, so as much as 2 weeks ago. And
Mhm.
honestly, you've been. I don't know. It was only about then that you became a trade up proponent rather than a trade down, which is what you had been for the month before that. But you proposed the
Yep.
Tennessee thing, and all of a sudden, it's not just four; it's three that the Cowboys are in the mix for, and it's similar players that we're talking about. Where it's all of a sudden, yeah, the Cowboys are the 12th pick in the draft, but they need an impact defensive player. There's five of them, and that's exactly how many are going to go before the Cowboys. So all of a sudden, it's back in that situation of 12 is high, but um, how high can you go? Not how low can you go. That's the limbo.
Now, there's a couple of real interesting ways to look at this because if NFL GMs play any kind of 3D chess, and I believe some of them do, if you leak to the NFL world, we called the Cardinals to ask them what it might take to move up to three because we really got our eyes on David Bailey or one of these other potential, right? Because that's the name that actually got leaked in the report, potentially eyeing David Bailey out of
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech. So when a specific name and a specific team gets attached to the report, and the trigger hasn't been pulled on the trade one way or another, or nothing's like really been finalized or anything like that. There can be some 3D chess going on with Jerry saying, "I'm willing to go up to as high as three for a guy like David Bailey," which just makes other teams immediately their spidey senses start going off. Right, all of a sudden, anybody sitting at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, basically all the way to 11. Who's Jerry? He said David Bailey. Okay, well maybe Washington wants him real bad. So now you force an NFC opponent to try to jump up ahead of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or things like that, or you're actually after the David Bailey, and you let everybody know that like I said, to force someone else up and go get him, to force someone else to fall down the board. I mean, if you're not after the David Bailey and you say that you are, somebody else reaches because they know we've got great scouts like Will McClay, Christian Parker came from Fangio, these kind of things. Other teams, Spidey senses start going off. Why? Why is Dallas doing this? Da, 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 right? Maybe we need him. We got to get him. Reese is going to be gone. We need Bailey over Bain. Blah blah. Then
I
all of a
feel like
sudden, David Bailey is picked at 4 or 5,
yeah,
and
I feel like
it's
three and four are too far from 12 to be concerned with the Cowboys and a player that they're interested. Like that's any player who you have to get to 3 to 4 to get. The Cowboys can't have it 12, so they have to get there to get them to take them from a team like Washington. I
right.
think it's legitimate interest in, like I said, one of the 5, 6 impact defensive players at this point.
Well, that's why I've always been on. You can't. That's why I've been team trade down
Mm-hmm.
because at 12, I honestly don't see anybody. Like, I'm not saying there isn't a player worth taking at 12 overall in this draft. Yeah, I don't. That's not the words coming out of my mouth. What I'm saying is, for us, the players that will be left, picking at 12 doesn't make sense. Moving up to get, like I said, if you move up to three,
Hold on,
you're guaranteed
the
one
players
of the
that
guys.
will be left. Too much faith in PFF and
Well,
Mel Kiper and Field
that's
Yates.
what I mean. Yeah, it's not the reason these guys are jumping up PFF's board is because other NFL scouts
If
and
they
other
just say their
experts are
names, it
talking and
happens.
going, "This is true. This is true." And this exact and that exactly alludes to what I'm saying about Jerry making it public that, hey, I'm trying to go to three, because also you do this. I really like the number 4 idea. I really like jumping right ahead of the Giants to take someone that they can't. I love the feeling of it. And you go ahead of Washington in this case, right? So you can steal the David Bailey that you know Washington and Dan Quinn would love, or you can take the Caleb Downs if he's still there that you know the Giants would pray to fall to him, right? So you get to make one of those decisions, and not only that, it's the 3D chess part of it. If I say, okay, I've called Arizona, this is what they want for 3, then anybody else sitting, excuse me, guys, anybody else sitting on 4, 5, 6, or 7 around that area is going to think, oh, I actually don't like my spot. I want to move down. I want the extra pick. I want to do the trade. So what did Arizona say for 3? Because we'll do this for 4, Tennessee says. Or hey, we'll do this for 6, Cleveland says. You know what I mean? So you also start opening up all the windows. Like I said, I don't, so for my money, we said Arizona, and this is being speculated. We're not trading up to 3. Not happening. All talk.
Yeah, because it
If we
costs
make a
pick
trade,
20. That's why we're not trading up to 3, not because we couldn't have it. Or Arizona wouldn't trade it, or this or that, just because we won't pay what it costs.
and
It
the
shouldn't
thing
pay
is,
what it
coach,
costs, please.
it might actually cost 20 plus a
Ah,
little. And that's the real scary part.
yeah. If that's not in my quarterback for the next 10 years, I'm out.
I'm just saying the point value of this year's draft. We looked at it. It's
You did.
1,800
It's
for
400 points for difference between 3 and 4. Where you
3 and 4.
were proposing a trade with the Tennessee Titans for 4. We looked at. I couldn't believe that the difference was that significant to the point where it's the difference in you need to hand them a first round pick or value of something similar, or yeah, go move 1 or 2 more down and not hand them a second or third round pick. So crazy.
No, that's insane.
Significant
And that's
value
why I don't.
in the top 5 is what the NFL is saying.
Yeah. No, and the scary thing is here's what I think the trade would actually look like. And now here's the thing. We were willing to give up pick 12 and a third for Max Crosby. Or was it pick 12 and a second? Next year's second, right?
Yeah.
We just wouldn't offer the 2 first. So what I'm scared it might actually take is to move all the way up to 3 is 12, next year's first, and probably 92 this year. So then you lose a body. And so that's why I've always been
maybe you get by with 112.
possibly if you're giving up 2 firsts and 112, that's fair, but you still lose a body in the top 115 players. And so the reason I've always been proponent trade down, like I said, nobody's going to be
Next year's
there. I want
second is
extra
Green
assets.
Bay's. Which next year's second do we have? Ours or Green Bay's? Green Bay's, right?
No, we didn't get a second from Green Bay. We just got 2 firsts.
I meant first. Next year's first.
No, we have ours. We traded
We have
Green Bay's
ours.
first and our second this year for Quinnen. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, next year's first went to Quinnen. And so it
Next year's second.
that would just cost too much. And so that's what I'm saying. The reason I've always been proponent of trade down is to add the extra bodies. And so if I'm going to trade up, I don't want to lose, right? If I'm going to trade up to 3, I can't do it for 12 and 20 and then not pick anything up. They're just like, yeah, we'll do that. And then boom. And then we get 1 first round pick instead of 2. And then we just go pick at 92. Because with Arizona, we've looked at it and we'll do it here in a little bit with you guys. We'll mock it. With Arizona, it's like we said, you got to give them 12 and 20 and possibly something else just to go up to 3. And that's crazy. However, at 4, because the significant, like Coach said, 400-point difference in pick 3 to 4, all of a sudden you can give, the Tennessee Titans 12 and 20 for 4 and you get back 66. Now, while it's and if you want to, Coach, we'll
do it now.
go ahead and look at the
No,
difference
yeah, I
here.
got you. I got you ready to roll.
So we'll speculate the Arizona trade first. And y'all tell us and call us. We can talk.
And look here, when we're doing
while
this
we
trade
draft.
stuff, we won't do 7 rounds. Let's do 4 rounds. That's where all our high value picks are, as it stands. Let's do that for now.
I'm with it.
All right. You need to offer a trade before the draft starts in this case.
Yeah, let's assume that the Cowboys speculation is real. We're trying to holler at Arizona to come up and get a guy. So there's 3.
It
We need
sucks.
it. We
I don't
want
want to
it.
do this. I want to
It
do
sucks.
yours. If we're going up that high, let go to 4. We don't need 3.
Well, that's why we're
4 is high enough.
that's why
4
we're
is
looking.
well. Let's go.
That's
3,
why we're talking about it
12.
for 12 and 20.
No, look, we have to figure out. I have to figure out how to not give up 20. So that means,
Then
look, we
try
have 2
next year's
first-round
first.
picks. No, we don't.
No, according to PFF, but we
is.
don't. Well,
Oh, I'm
they need
getting
to
my money
update.
back. Hey, no, because it's April 4th now. This is not even. It's 3
No,
weeks.
they need to
This
get
is
it-
their
get it
money.
right.
These are literally their money weeks. People are all over their app, and it's basically broken.
Yeah.
Do I need to show
No,
the
Quentin
people
Williams
how
isn't even on our team.
George Pickens isn't on the team? Can't trade him.
Well, he hadn't signed the tender yet, so I guess that's
Whatever.
fair.
I could
But
pull out a
still, they
million
need to
other
update.
things, but yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
No, well, I mean,
You
just
said we
look at
have
the
our
value of
own.
next year's first.
You said we have our own. That gets us to a 35% chance on PFF.
And so if you give up this year's 92,
Whereas if you give up 20, it's 81. So that tells you about the difference in the value of the two. And 112, that's a 50%, and and it's probably not realistic. 92 we just
No.
acquired, but you know what? To go up to for Osa, we acquired 92 to go up to 3. I'll do that. That's a 65% chance. I would like to get to
and
75.
that's what I'm saying. And that's
to
2
say that
firsts
that's
and
a
a
really
third, dude.
realistic chance.
But that's 2 firsts and a third. I'm not doing that.
Well,
So
but
I
no. It's
can't.
It's not 2 first and a third. It's next year's first and a third, and swapping
To
picks
move up
this year.
spots. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
you're
But
not.
like I said,
They're not
and that,
losing 3. They're picking at 12.
Arizona may do that. They may.
They're
do
picking
that.
at 12. That's close in terms of not giving up 20. Now, I think that is probably good enough. I just added 152. It takes it to 73. I said I'd like to get to 75. That's all I'm going to offer. I'm not giving up 20. So do you think they'll do that? We're coming up 9 spots. They still pick at 12. They get a first round pick next year, a third round pick this year, and a 5th round pick.
Yes, they'll do that.
All right. Well, that's all I'm going to do.
You can offer it without forcing it.
I will.
Just
It's
see
going to
if they
accept
do.
it. They'll accept.
No, you'll have to force it because it's realistic.
No, I'm not going to force it because it's not. It's only acceptable. It's not forcible.
Well, then offer them a 6 from next year or something, and like I don't know.
Next year's third.
A
We're doing that.
third.
There it is.
God.
Next year, a first and
2 thirds and a first to move up.
no, yeah, a first and third next year, and a third round pick this year that we didn't have until we traded.
That's fine.
We traded
You can call
Osa.
it which year you want. I'm just saying it's 2 third-round picks and a first-round pick to move up in
Well,
the
I
first
showed
round.
you the difference in the value. The difference in the value in a first round pick this year and next year is 50%
It's vastly
trade
different.
value.
No, I
mean,
know
it's huge.
It is. It is. Yeah.
It's like a new car. It's the opposite way. You haven't driven it off the lot yet. You don't know what pick you're going to get. You have even less of an idea of what pick you're going to get because you don't
That's
know how good
fair.
a team will be another year down the road in the future. As soon as you drive the car off the lot, it depreciates by 50%. Next year's first round pick is depreciated by 50%. Anyways,
Okay.
this is a 93%, and this is a trade where they will say yes. We don't get a bunch back until next year, but we still pick at 12. Picking up a third round pick and a first round pick next year. Yeah,
Give it to it.
there you go. I'm gonna offer that trade. They're gonna take it.
All right.
But I saved you 20, so deal with that. Now you're picking at 3, but you have 20. Now you can have the reins there. I couldn't let you give up 20. I can't do that. There's not a player that's worth 20 this year. There has been in the
And
past.
12. Not 12 and 20, no. I'm taking Sonny Styles here. Now, does anybody is there any trade offers for 20 here? Because I have to at least entertain them.
Of course.
Who's
The Chargers at 22, the Browns at 24, Miami at 30, the Detroit
Miami
Lions
at
at
30?
50.
They got some good picks. Miami wants some.
They got a
juice.
lot of picks. You're right. No, they have.
Yeah, they do.
No, they have more than good picks. They have
No, I
one
know.
off the top. Why's 11? Oh, they already picked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks as it stands in the top 100.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, they're gonna give me to move up to 20 to grab them somebody special here. They're gonna give me 30. And actually, what's the second pick they have?
What's the second pick? What, 43? You're saying?
After 30.
Yeah, 43.
43.
Yeah,
They're actually
early
they're gonna give me
13th in the
they're
second
gonna give
round
me
or 11th. Yeah.
they're gonna give me 43 and 75.
They're giving you 43 and
Actually,
75.
no, I don't like that as much. No, no,
No,
no,
they're
no. I
not.
don't
No, they're
feel as
not.
safe.
Yeah, they're not giving you that
They
anyways.
won't for
No.
20? Oh, the
No,
hell they
43
won't.
and 90.
It says no.
You can fight them over 87. Oh no, it says 20. I have to have 20. It says 100%.
Yeah, that's a second and a third to move up to the first. You're moving up 23
Oh, it's
spots
only
for
10
pick
spots. I'm sorry.
75.
Hang on. You're moving up or you're moving up. Hang on.
Yeah, they're moving up 23 spots for pick 75. Hell, they're gonna owe me 130 or whatever they got from. They're gonna owe me
Okay, I
something else
see.
at this
Yeah,
point.
okay. I had 30 involved. That's why I was tripping.
Yeah. Now I don't necessarily think they'll do that because I would still want something else. So just do it realistic 30 and 20 for right. And then that's probably more realistic. And they'll probably do that because they pick so many times right after
They
that.
probably will
They
do that.
probably do that.
They
They
might
may
they
try
might
to
grind
fight
you
you
and
and
only
ask
give
for
you
87.
87. They
But
could
then I'm going to
grind you.
ask for a move up from 152 to 130 something, whatever that is. If they take
Right.
87, I'm going to want to move up.
Then they're going to do that. Do you want to go through all that or just give yourself 75? They probably would grind you on that. Let's do that. 152 and then you get what?
No,
151
we
and
give up 152
yeah, we get
and they
130.
give up the 130. Yep.
We're doing that's the trade.
Okay. So we got Sonny Styles on the team, right?
You're sitting at 30, 87, 112, and 130 in terms of the
Yeah.
first 4 rounds because we only made it a 4-round draft, which means you just acquired a late 4th-round pick. You added a pick to
Oh
your
yeah,
first 4 rounds. You did.
that's right. And so we're gonna scroll down just a little bit here. We
Yes,
already
sir.
got our linebacker. There's a
Mhm.
Colton Hood. There's a Caleb Lemieux. There's a Zion Young. And we pick again at 60 something. So with that being said, picking again at 60 something, give me a Chris Johnson here.
You could pick anyone you want. I couldn't hate anyone within the 20. Anybody who's going to be gone by the time you pick again cannot be
Right.
considered a reach when you don't have another pick. That's where fans lose
Right.
sight.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, it's just yeah, exactly. Because everybody's board is different, and half the players you don't even need on your team positionally. So it's
That's
not
it.
like, oh, you're going
That's
to
not
go
the
down
same
20
thing.
players, and we don't need 12 of them. So what are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, edge here. I'm probably going to want carry on. Well, let me see. Let me think about this. I went Sonny Styles. Just let me think about my next 2 picks after this.
87 and
Sonny
112.
Styles, what Chris Johnson. Kamar Ramsey is gone, right? We don't have what does the safeties look like? Yeah, all the way down to Genesis Smith. So no, we don't want to do
Who you
that.
can probably have at 87.
Right, possibly. And I would still take Zaki anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna go edge. We'll go carry on Crawford.
I've got a
I like
filter
it.
on there.
Was there a tackle up top? Who was that?
Demetrius Crownover. You know him well.
Uh, yeah, I do, but I'm still gonna take Bud Clark here.
Good.
And then with my extra pick that I picked up,
Maybe. That's probably a nod on Bryce Butcher on double dipping. But
probably
that
not
one
just
I
because
like.
we
I don't
brought
hate that
in.
one.
Yeah, I'll do that. And
Mhm.
honestly, and on my board, I would have Bryce Botcher. I would pick him ahead, but because I believe we've probably brought in some veteran help, at least
And you
plus
just
Sonny
drafted
Styles.
Sonny Styles,
Right.
not
No, that's what
someone
I'm saying. You
else.
don't have to add too much. Yeah. No, I like that. So that's a move up and a move down, which then all of a sudden you don't feel like you lost any bodies because you didn't.
Oh, now you gave up your first round pick next year and a third round pick, but you won't be thinking about that if this stuff pans out. The third round pick, you gave up your first round pick next year.
But let's remember this. We gave up a first and third round pick next year for this, right? And and I want you to think about the odds. There's like an 80% chance when what we're fixing to do here in just a second, when we go from pick 3 to just trading up to pick 4, there's probably a 70-80% chance that Sonny Styles is still on the board at 4. So remember what we all just gave up to basically land Sonny Styles and then kind of draft what we thought was BPA at positions of need throughout, which we're going to do every time. Um, that's what we gave up. A third this year and a first and third next year to move up and land Sonny Styles. And then we did get some good guys after that. The picks that we picked up in doing that this year, the extra 130, the 80 something, they ended up being pretty valuable.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna roll with
I got sidetracked.
Zeke.
Yeah, I got sidetracked. Rick is up in here, and there's a Zeke comment, and I'm not sure what that exactly is referring to. Can't draft him this year. Not walking through the
No,
door.
maybe because we picked him at pick 4. And that's what we just
Maybe
said.
that's a good.
Maybe.
That was good.
But what's up, Rick?
So
Thanks
you
for
want to take a
joining.
look at the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, so now we have to look at what we just gave up for 3, and 4 is in play here. And if you want to throw it over my mug, and you can talk it
I
out,
know. I'm
Coach,
letting
you do
you.
what you got
Let
to
me
do,
see
or
here.
you can throw me,
Yeah. I'm just
whatever
getting
you
it up.
want to do.
I think it's
Enjoy
it's
your
all
Mountain
set
Dew.
up. It's all set up. It's apple juice.
No, it's Mountain Juice, Apple Dew.
All right, let's do the same
It's
thing.
apple. It's Fiji apple Mountain Juice.
We'll go 4. We'll go offer a trade before the draft starts with the Tennessee Titans. We have to give them 12 and 4, and
Now
much
we're also
less,
now
much
here's
much
the now
less.
here's the way much
Now
less,
we're
right?
not
Like,
coming
look,
off 20 or next year's first. Get it?
watch this. Just throw next year's first on there.
No, no, I'll do
Well, no,
that
I'm saying just try it out.
because it's already
Boom, you
done.
already get it.
You already get it.
So, and you get to keep 2/3. Throw this year's third on it.
This year's third, all the way acceptable.
Not quite, because it is hot.
Not
It is
even.
hot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
here's
Not even
Now I
registering.
like the fact
More
that they'll kind
importantly,
of just do it for this year's first and next year's first. I might consider that. However, I like first round picks, and if we're willing to use that first round pick to move up, then maybe I'm looking to put it with 20, not necessarily with 12, right? Something like that. So what I propose here is 12 and 20.
yeah,
They're definitely going to do that, right? That's we're way ahead on points now. So they
yeah,
actually owe us, obviously. We're going to take 66 from them.
yeah.
So they're moving up 46 spots from 66 to 20
And they're
for us to
still
move up 8,
they're still screaming yes.
and they're still screaming yes, and I believe they'll let us do another move up here probably from 112 to 101.
Well, that's it. If they were screaming yes, then an 11 spot move up in the fourth round does nothing to it. No.
And so now here's where I'm at on this one. I still get the extra body at 60 something rather than 80 something. No, I'm not picking at 20, but I'm not losing any first round pick next year. No third round pick next year. So if you're willing to come off those, use them, like I said, and make another trade up.
Mhm.
But so we're not losing any picks here. We're only moving up to move down to move up. Right. So we're drafting the same amount of players in the top 115. We just know who we're getting at 4 as opposed to everybody going to be gone at 12. So let's run this thing.
Okay. Oh, freaking.
Oh, you didn't offer it. You got to
No.
make that offer.
No, they're the worst. Not my
They're
fault.
the worst.
Yeah, it's not my fault. It's 100% PSO's fault. Luckily,
No,
got-
it definitely is.
luckily I've gotten really quick at that. That is 466 and 101, 112, 92, and 20.
No,
No.
12, 20, and 112.
12, 20, and 112. There it is. Offer trade.
Bam.
There you go.
Starter
No
up.
problems.
And Arvell Reese is gone, but that's okay, right? Like that can happen.
No, you know
The
Arvell
guy
Reese
who
is
I was
gone.
telling
You know
Coach,
Arvell Reese is gone, but
I
so is
meant
Sonny
yes,
Styles.
Sonny Styles, right? But I'm okay with that because Ruben Bain Jr. is the best win right now. I'm fixing to put pressure on the quarterback immediately, guy that we absolutely would love to have
On the
around
team.
here. So now we're gonna go pick a 66. We've already got our edge guy. We can take a look at linebackers that are available, and right around here is realistically where this kid's probably going to go. Give me Ant Hill Jr.
Oh, and it's just making sense right now. Lining up.
You see what I'm saying? Now,
Yes, sir.
now what are we looking at? Now, show me their corners and their safeties here.
Malik Muhammad,
I
Willie,
mean,
Shaq Davis,
I almost don't even
Jalen
have to think
Kilgore.
about
That's
it.
how far you're going, and then Genesis Smith, Zaki Wheatley. That's how far you'll go there. Where is it?
So give me Zaki Wheatley first. He's on
At
my board higher,
92,
and he
and then
just
you're
is.
hoping at 101 you still get
Get
the
Malik Muhammad,
corner. That's what you wanted. Oh,
and I didn't have to give up all that. And like I said, there's always some kind of a chance that it's Sonny Styles over Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs over Sonny Styles. One of those guys is going to be there for. And I didn't have to come up. I didn't have to come off of basically next year's draft.
man.
When you really
Didn't
think
have to
about it.
come off next year's draft, and at least, we stopped in the fourth, but those 4 players are 4 I've targeted for over a
Well, they're
month.
coming in and playing. Right. No, they're coming in and playing football for you right away. Right away. And 2 of them are going to be pretty good. And then we're going to have 3 Texas players on our team. Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be lovely. So
4 again. We'll enter the draft. No.
no.
Nope.
All right, what are we doing here?
Got to offer trades before the draft. I'm going to enter the draft. I'm going to offer trades before the draft starts. I'm going to let you draft it, but I'm going to show you my version of that. I don't want to come off. Yeah, I don't want to
20.
come off. I want 4, but I don't want to come off 12.
You don't want to
Right?
come off 12.
I'm going to come off 20. I'll come off 92. And a second next year. Why is that not even registering?
Because they said you're tripping. Because
20
20
not
has
even
nowhere near the
freaking
value that 12
close
even
to the
does.
value. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'd rather come off next year then. Yeah, I'd rather come off next year than this year because I'm ready to go. I saw the offense.
So then try to keep
right
the
now.
third.
George
Give
Pickens is
him
on the
20.
team. Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant. I think we may not even have to draft a whole bunch of corners. I thought we needed 2 or 3. We may only need 1 or none. Or just someone serviceable. So there it is, right there. 68% if I just come off next year's first, and 20 and 92.
So
Here that we have 3 first-round picks. That well, I'm not drafting those, but I'll add that little sweetener. That's getting done right there. That's getting done.
okay.
I added 152.
Okay.
Offer trade. Give me. Thank you. And that wasn't a forced trade. Now, pick at 4 and 12 and 112.
And you can always in
You only
this
get 3
situation,
players. You only get 3
you
players.
can always really take calls for 12 now.
If you want to, but go ahead. There's your player. In fact, in this case, you've won entirely. I don't think there's a player off the board that you had to have. Who went?
I'm
Arvell
still
Reese.
taking Ruben Bain here.
Arvell Reese, which you expected, and who else? Who else went? I think
Jeremiah Love, the quarterback.
Oh, this is the ideal situation. Yeah, that you literally
Right.
lost
No,
no
this
one.
is the- this is
No
the-
one.
Whoever
that
you want. No one.
Go.
Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Caleb Downs, who you want.
Go.
Yeah, no, it's all there for you. No, I want Ruben Bain, I'm telling you.
Wait a second. With
I mean,
Ruben
if
Bain
you
there, you
want to
want
do
him
the
over
draft.
Sonny Styles. Okay, that's fine. I just made the trade.
Considering we still have 12, yup.
Yeah, I just made the trade. Ruben Bain. Here it comes. Oh, because you're going to draft C.J. Allen right there? Let's see.
That's very possible.
Let's see what happens at 12. There it is. Gone already. No, not gone. Yeah,
We
buddy.
just
That
took Ruben
safety's
Bain,
looking at
go
you in
down
the
a little
face,
bit.
isn't it?
No,
No?
go down a little bit.
Hmm? Oh, it's only pick 12. There's a bunch of good players left.
I have to go Jermon McCoy here. Now I would have really considered possibly trading down there, but I
But
was
you
willing
didn't.
to
That's
do
so
that and
that's
then
okay.
look at linebacker here
Look at
because Reuben
linebacker
Bain
here.
and Jermon McCoy. And I'll take Bryce. I've always liked Bryce. You know, I've been high on him. He's moved way up the board since I was first looking at him. Used to be able to pick him at pick 200, and I was like, I'm telling you, this guy Bryce, he's gonna. But anyway,
And again, you
so
have more picks than this. We have three third round picks. We gave one of them up, so we still have two. I mean, fifth round picks. So we still have two fifth round
mhm.
picks after this, which can turn into players. Deron Bland was a fifth round pick.
Oh, of course.
Don't let me go down the list of fifth, sixth, and seventh round players. The Cowboys
No,
undrafted
you're still
players.
gonna get it
Miles
right.
Austin, Tony Romo. We can go on. So it can happen. But so
Yeah.
you have more picks than this, and other than this, what you're looking at right here, you did nothing but give up next year's first round pick to attain one this year, to attain 4 this year. So
Yeah.
you just picked at
Boy, the
4 and
options are
12.
vast.
They're vast. I like that.
The options are vast. They are. Here's another one. Look, give me 1 second, Coach. I'm gonna
Go
look at
ahead.
something really quick. Going to look at
The
something
options
real
are
quick.
vast. Move up, move down, sign
Yeah.
George,
Well,
sign and
you can move up
trade.
and down. We just looked up where you can take 12 and something else and move up a little bit, and then take 20 and move down. You
Right, you
just
were in
pulled
a
off
yeah,
a
right.
trade where you
You
could
were in a
take
super
20 and something
position,
else and moved up.
right?
You can still take 12
Where
down.
you were
Yeah.
thinking about taking 4, moving 12, but not maybe even to the second round, maybe just to the end of the first and getting your third round pick back out of it. Where all of a sudden
Exactly.
you did nothing but give them a fifth round pick and a first next year to move up 8 spots in the first round. Draft day is coming.
That's
The
it.
movie is coming. I feel like
We're gonna watch it soon. We're gonna watch.
I
I
feel
could
it
watch it
coming.
tonight and
I
other
know.
nights. But no, let's run another one. I want to do one because there's another team that's been speculated. And you guys in the chat, listen, if you want to run a mock, we'll let you guys. 774-290-2200. Call the show. We'll put you on. Dial Cowboys. That's 269-2697 on your pin pad. And call us and chat with us. You know, we're hyped about this draft. We're talking about the speculations. We did Arizona, we did Tennessee. Now we're going down to the toilet bowl of the NFL. Coach knows exactly where we're headed
I'll give you
because
5
that's
rounds
what
on
I've
this
called
one.
him for
I'm going to give you
for
5 just
years
because it's
now.
got those other 3 picks and they could be substantial and you can make
They're
them quick.
valuable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can make a
Yeah.
little.
You can't start the draft, but such
Quick
is
on
life.
it.
It's that inner draft button. Once I've done that, I'm ready to go.
It's gone.
Here it is. Toilet
We're
bowl of
gonna
the
look.
NFL. There they are.
The Cleveland Dookie Browns. Let's go. That we need 6, right? We're gonna see what's left at 6, which we're
Sure.
cool with that.
It's the idea of moving up without selling the farm. Yeah.
Selling the farm because they're gonna
Which means
definitely take
12 and 20
12.
is never going to be involved in this. You're going to give them 12. Oh, well,
Well,
they
no,
have to.
listen,
Yeah, 12
and
has to be.
this is
Just
where
not.
I'm actually gonna be fine. Give them
Okay.
20. But because we're only moving up 6 spots, they're gonna let us move down to 39. And so that's only 19, and that's not horrible at
Oh, they're
all. That's
giving us more
100%
than that.
yes. They're probably gonna give you 140 something or whatever that is.
107 gives you an 83% chance.
Right. If you took 107 and gave them 112, they'd give you
But
that
you know
little
what?
move up, or you could just snag a
The fact
140.
that 140 isn't all the way to 100 says it could be either one and they could fight you. So we'll take the lesser to try to be
Right.
realistic because look, I've never fielded calls as a GM.
Sure. That's a fair
I'm not trying to lie.
assessment, Landry. That was very see, that's how you fan
God,
responsibly, guys. It was a fair assessment. That was a fan saying, I don't know nothing about this GM stuff. We speculate. We got to reset.
yeah, I don't know how to hit offer trade and everything. It's so
It's the PFF system. They need to update and upgrade, for what they charge a year. It's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Anyways,
The old toilet bowl.
6
630 something. Was it 39?
146
And 146 for 12 and 20.
12 and 20. Got you.
Boom, they're gonna do that. Start that draft.
6.
Now at 6, Wow, I can't believe Jeremiah Love would fall. I'd be taking calls for
You can't
Javonte Williams.
believe
I
that?
wouldn't even lie.
You'd be taking
Not
calls
to
for
6,
you'd be
no.
taking calls for 6 all of a sudden. Maybe.
That you probably know. I
New
guarantee how
Orleans
many
Saints,
trade partners does it say 8 right now? Yeah, because they
as
would be
with all the
calling. But
speculation with Arizona and stuff, the New Orleans Saints might be calling at 6.
right now, this is going to be outstanding, Coach. Give me Caleb Downs.
What's this going on? What's that text saying?
Hey, but TCU and Jacob.
We'll see as we get there.
Okay,
All right, go
that's
ahead.
fair. Hey,
What
if
did you just say? Give you
774-290-2200, you
Caleb
can call the
Downs?
show. We'll let you pick one. Yep.
Pipe dream. Love it.
Yep. Give me I can't believe Colton Hood is still there, but I
That's
want Chris Rodriguez
insane.
instead.
Mr. Rodriguez, you said? Who did you say?
Oh no.
I believe you
Did I
said
say
Chris
Jacob?
Rodriguez. You meant
I
Chris
did, and I
Johnson.
meant because no. I meant Jacob
You
Rodriguez.
did mean
But
Jacob.
I said,
Okay.
yes, but I said Chris.
I couldn't be upset either way. There, look, you see where they are on the
They
draft
were
board.
both on my mind.
Yeah, you
Right,
see where
of
they are on
course.
the draft board.
Who are the with Malik Muhammad? I won't even ask because we already got a safety. Just give me the corner. Now I've got to look at. I don't have to look at much. Look at this draft already. What do you think? Look at this. Let me take a look at it. Let me just revel in it real quick.
Let me see an SC edge rusher here. What do you know about Anthony Lucas? SC edge rusher. I haven't looked at a ton.
12% win rate. I don't love.
Okay, I see. You want to revel in it? Yeah. Yeah, with 112, 46, 52. These are 3 more picks coming that you can do something with. So let's see it. Safety done, edge done, wide receiver, corner done, right?
Still give me Mikhail Kamara. He's got
Not edge
got about
done.
a 20% win
Linebacker
rate.
done. Linebacker.
Yeah, give me Mikhail Kamara. Edge up a little bit.
Where am I at? Oh, right
Who's
there. Yeah, I got you.
Who's your edge? Yeah.
I got you.
We're looking at for a Duke tackle, possibly still on the board, please.
Offensive tackle.
No, that's okay. We'll take JC Davis though. I'm fine with that.
Fine with that.
Give me. Go down. I'm gonna take another.
Already got the tackle. I know you're into replacing Terrence Steele.
Yeah. Give me Ephesians. I want to take another DB here, and then I want to take Cole Wisniewski here, safety, to pair him with Downs, because with them two and Jalen Thompson, it's going to be
Okay,
absolutely.
you just know Cole Wisniewski's here. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can get him with your next pick. There's no reason to waste it. You
Yeah,
pick
but it's
3
only
picks.
3 picks. I want
It's
him.
only 3 picks.
No,
It
I
doesn't
know.
matter, right? If it's a guy you want, it's a guy
I want
you
him.
want. That's it.
And then you can give me. I'll take another linebacker. I'll take Trey Moore.
I was more pointing at Jamar Taylor, but
Oh, I see. Now I try to load up the D.
Need a 60-second break, but go ahead and
Now that's
revel in your draft, and I'll be right back.
now look. He's got the trade on deck there. 12 and 20 to the Browns for 639 and 146. That's absolutely realistic for both teams. They pick up another first round pick, which means they would ultimately pick 1, 2, 3 times in the first round, right? And they only give up a second and a fifth to do so. And so we end up with Caleb Downs. That pick could have obviously been Reuben Bain. It could have been David Bailey. It could have, been one of these other guys that fall there. Maybe a Son and Styles, depending on how this draft is going to go. Arvell Reese not likely to fall, but you end up with Caleb Downs there at 39. We're able to snag Jacob Rodriguez, and then a corner who I think, excuse me, Cowboys Nation. He also thinks Malik Muhammad believes himself. He said it on Twitter. I'm the best cornerback in this draft. Check the film. So, hey, argue with the experts all you want to. Kid said he's the best. I agree. He's one of the best, and we put him on the team here. Then we went ahead and drafted an edge. The best one I believe was left out of the bunch, and it had a like a 19.2% win rate on the edge. Obviously, a national championship team, and played really well in that national championship game against the Miami offensive line, who's really stout. So added Mikael Kamara there out of from the Hoosiers, and then try to do what we can to maybe replace Terrence Steele. Maybe JC Davis isn't it this year, but you add a tackle. Tyler Guyton's iffy. You have to add a tackle somewhere in this draft, if not two, depending on what you're looking at, because Terrence Steele getting older and on the way out, had a couple injuries, and Tyler Guyton, has still yet not shown the strides taken that we need him to take. So got to take a tackle. If he's his price stock was just to add to the DB room that's already really deep. Same thing with Cole and then another linebacker. So I mean, yeah, I liked that one. I thought that was very, very solid. What's up? Checking in from Inland Empire,
What is
Southern California. What is up, Aztec?
Inland Empire? Is the name of a city? Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like a
Inland
neighborhood or
Empire
is
is
it
the
a
name of the
city?
city. Azteca is the name. I'm
Okay,
thinking there might be some
love it.
serious
Love
history
it.
going on there.
Well, what is up from out in Cali? This is fourth and late at the 8. And you are on the show with Jimmy J's Hair and Landry's Legend. Like I said, call in 774-290-2200, dial 269-2697. We'll get you on. We're talking draft. We're talking everything. We're talking a UConn game right now. Coach, do we have a score update on that game?
Score update. I was literally
What
just about to give you that.
really
Going
nice. Yeah, because we got some
multi-operational between 4 devices
Final
here.
Four going on.
Halftime,
Okay.
16-point lead for Michigan. They just might be taking it all for
Ooh.
the second time in.
They put 16-point lead on Arizona.
Hey, no, don't act like that's a thing. You already know in the NBA it's nothing nowadays, and even in college, Arizona scored 100, or that says something about Michigan's defense because Arizona just scored 106 or 12 points in a college game
No,
in
they
the
did. And
Elite
that
Eight or
was
something.
impressive. It was. I think it was the 16, but yeah, it was really impressive. But but it was a one seed against a lower seed, I think. But still, we're not drafting a quarterback till 27, 28. That's fair. That's you're probably right. Um, yeah, I don't think Jerry's going to try to sell any farm or do anything crazy next year to get Arch Manning. But no, I think that's what I was alluding to, Coach. The fact that they're up 16 on Arizona right now in the Final Four, it might as well be the championship.
We're
I
gonna
mean,
find
this is
out.
what game is on? This is Michigan versus Arizona.
Arizona, yeah,
And then who's UConn and
yeah. Yeah, UConn already won before we came on the air. That's what I was saying right as we
they
came on.
they already beat.
By
But
the
who
way,
did they
people, we
beat?
were super busy today, which is why we ended up on the air at 8 o'clock or at not until 8:30. Tried to get,
8:30. Yeah.
barely get on at 8, and then computer crashed and we're on at 8:30. But here we are. Somebody.
We're up late and at it again. Feel free to join us and call in or hang out and enjoy the show. We're having fun with you guys,
Call in and
talking a
switch
little
the
bit of
topic.
everything. Just enjoy your Mountain Dew. Stay safe. Um, I think, yeah, I think it's over. That Michigan beating Arizona by that at halftime, unless something miraculous happened and Arizona makes a comeback.
It's not over.
Even if they do, I don't think it's enough.
I'm calling
Michigan
it right
probably
now.
wins that
Arizona
game,
winning.
and then they're going to spank whoever.
I'm calling it right now. Arizona's going to win just because 16 points. The game range, you already know that it'd be down to 6 with 17:30 to go in the second half.
Oh, I'm not saying it can't happen. It definitely can. I just, like you said, not against this Michigan defense. The way they already play, what is the 16-point spread? What's the point? What's the number? Is it like 40 something to 30 or something like that?
48-30. It's 48-32. Yeah, they've held
That's
them
what I'm saying,
32 points.
32.
That's
They're
what's
not going to score
impressive.
70.
That's really
That's what I'm
impressive.
saying.
No, they're going to
They're
score
not gonna score
70.
70.
It will be. They'll close the gap. They're not going to lose by 24.
They won't score 70. You're calling them to win. I'm gonna call the other extreme. They won't score 70. They will most likely only double their points, about 64.
Oh, Rick's
67.
asking what happened to Friday night.
In-laws and outlaws and family. No, Jimmy had some family in town, and then Landry was over as well. So we were all hanging out. It was more of a personal weekend. It's kind of some downtime. But Rick, we appreciate you noticing. Obviously
Of course.
we hate to disappoint you, but we appreciate you noticing the Friday show wasn't there. Next Friday it will be. I know we had told Rick that he was going to come on Friday and call in and do the draft. So don't think we forgot about that, Rick.
Not at
It's just
all.
like I said,
Not
we
at all.
kind of had a surprise visit from some family, so we had to cancel. And so, but
It's
no, next
still
Friday show before the draft, you're picking one
we
for
still
us.
have 3 shows, 3 full shows before the draft, or only 2. The draft starts on a
See,
Thursday. 2 full
there
shows
you go
only.
again.
I
This
got
is
it. I
why I
got it.
feel like time is dragging donkey rear end
Would say take
because
a flyer. I'm gonna pull this up. So, it's fourth and late at the 8. It's getting later into 9. The Dallas Cowboys says he take a flyer on Pavia in the 6th or 7th. I'm gonna. They say hi. He says Heisman finalist.
Pavia.
I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna assume this is not trolling
Well, right now I'm gonna
because
Google Pavia.
a week ago or 2, sometime last week, it was all the Dak, banter in the comments from the Dallas Cowboy and a few people going back and forth. If you're serious, it's a flyer. That's what it is. It's you know what? I'll give you this. It might be a better flyer than a 4th round pick for Trey Lance. That was a complete waste. And so many of us could see it coming from a mile away, I feel like. The thing with gosh, if it's 2 years minimum before we're looking at a quarterback starting that's in front of Dak Prescott. So, yeah, it's a flyer.
Mm. It really is. It's
Oh, that's all kinds of stuff. I didn't sweet.
from.
Your time to make the call is now.
Yeah, sorry. I
Did
smashed
you
the
say that
keyboard.
comment was from Coach?
I smashed the keyboard button. That's the Dallas Cowboy.
Well, Dallas Cowboy. Okay, I'm looking at some deep dive numbers here for you. Drop back percentages, design run things, a lot of numbers. I'm trying to do just a quick uh, number scouting that I do. Pressure
Uh-huh.
to sack rate, all these different things,
Right.
turnover worthy plays, big time throws. And what I'm seeing,
Well,
just quickly looking at these
go ahead.
metrics, and I look at them a lot.
You can keep on looking at him for just a second to speak to it. Little Dallas Cowboy says they say height. Yeah, they do, because I think he's 5'10" and a half. He might
They've
be
got him listed
5'11".
at 6 foot.
Yeah, they
They've
have
got
him
him
listed
listed
at
as
6 foot. He
on
is
Tendery
5'11".
6'1".
Yeah,
On on
he is
Tendery 6'2".
5'11" at best in his bare feet.
No, he's not. No, they have those extended cleats though. They'll give you
I'm
2 inches,
telling
so
you.
that's fine. He'll be 6'1" on the field. That's fine.
So he
Um,
better be. History has shown that even if you can move, it's too small. Kyler Murray hasn't reached the. I have to let me pull my screen back here. Kyler Murray hasn't reached what the 62-0 he was in high school, and I think he lost 4 or 5 games as a starter in 3 years, but it's split between A&M and Oklahoma. He
mhm.
hasn't lived up to it, and he has speed too, and is not incapable of throwing the ball. I think he's a better passer than Mike Vick, RG3, maybe a couple of speedy quarterbacks. The only one that's made it is Drew Brees. No, I know. I get you. He said not trolling. I get it. That felt genuine. It's just that arm talent better be friggin' and slash field vision slash everything else you can make up with other than athleticism better be friggin' incredible.
So, coach, it's not horrible. Um,
No, he made a Vanderbilt team that had no business. Dude, that's the best they've been competing in the SEC in 40
no,
years.
for sure. I didn't watch much tape or film on him, and I didn't
Dak
watch
does
many
not suck.
Vanderbilt
That is
games.
not true.
I've I've watched a couple, games that Vanderbilt was playing against other teams that beat them. And so, like I said, here's what I'm seeing. It's actually more than just a flyer coach. He's actually a prospect. I would say he was
Where have
talking
you
about a
seen him
6th or
go on the
7th.
mock draft
I
boards?
would s- I wouldn't be mad if we took this kid with one of our fifths.
Uh,
Listen, here's the metrics
That's what
why,
he's
right?
saying.
There's
He was a
three.
Heisman finalist. No, I know the numbers are going to be good. He was a Heisman
Well,
finalist.
no,
Go,
but there's three. Like I'm talking about just on a little bit of deeper dive.
yeah,
Three things that stand out to me a lot,
go.
right? And for one of them is pressure to sack rate, and he was actually up against because his average time when you compare these numbers, average time to throw and pressure to sack rate, his average time to throw was actually high for college football, and when I say high, I mean fast, right? So it's a low number, 2.86. So his average time to throw the ball and get it out of his hands was 2.86. He actually faced some good pass rushers, and his pressure to sack rate only being at 12.1 is actually on the phenomenal range when you look at the average time to throw number, right? And so that's actually really good, which tells me right away he has some instinct in the pocket. That's the only way those two numbers correlate and you survive and you get the ball out, right? And your pressure to sack rate is that low. You know what I mean? In the top 40 in the country. Um, and so I do like that metric. That means he has pocket instinct. And like you said, you better if you're undersized. Metric that I don't like, all the biggest competition, worst games. Now I get it. He's going to be playing the best defensive line, the best corners. So I understand. But you also want to see at least every now and then your number one guy, your star, your quarterback, at least play up to his level, even when all his guys fail him against good competition. And from what I'm looking at in 2025 and 24, he really hasn't had a standout game against a top, you know, 15, 20 team. He just doesn't have one of those. So that worries me a little bit. And then the third thing is the turnover worthy plays.
I don't
He
know. Go
doesn't
back,
have a ton of interceptions, right?
backtrack it
Only eight.
real quick on the
Go ahead.
turnovers because you're talking about not
Mhm.
playing well against good teams, but he only plays against good teams. They're in the SEC. You're telling me his only good games are in those non-conference games at the beginning of the season, and then he sucks?
Only his only standout game. His only games where he's, putting up 80 plus, grades, where he's putting up, 280 plus yards, multiple touchdown. You know what I mean? Like standout games where he's
That's
not taking
concerning
sacks, where he
because, like I
doesn't have
said,
an
he plays in the
interception.
SEC 8 or 9
I
games.
know.
He plays 5 games a year against the top 20 team. He
Well, and
never
I
performs
would have to
well.
look more. Like I said, this is a very quick look. I can't say never, but I'm saying I'm not seeing just you know, on a shallow surface, any standout game against any of the top teams. I mean, maybe Auburn. He had one really good game against Auburn. Auburn's solid. Yeah, he had one pretty good game against Auburn this last year. Um, which would be his best game against
Not
SEC. And this is I'm looking shallow. I haven't
not
looked at
six
all
to
of it.
seven elite players for $60 million. 6 to 7 good ones. 6 to 7 $10 million players, but elite players don't cost $10
Right.
million. They cost
But
30.
Diego Pablo hadn't even crossed my radar. I'd vaguely heard the name. I knew he was up there, for the Heisman thing just based off the numbers and stuff.
Yeah, you remember though, as you're looking at it, you remember a little short
I
Vanderbilt
do. I
quarterback, and
do.
they didn't have a
Hmm.
ton of other superstars either. It's not like they've got
No,
receivers and everything else coming out this year.
no, and that's why. Listen, there may be something there. He may have enough with the pocket instincts, the arm talent that
He may be
overcomes the
undrafted.
5'11", and you never know. Listen,
Yeah,
Brock Purdy.
yeah,
There's no
that's why
reason Diego Pablo can't be a Brock Purdy.
Dallas Cowboys says he's seen him sixth to undrafted, which is why it's a flyer at 6. You may not even have to draft him. You may just be able to bring him into camp, but
So, Coach,
that's fine.
speaking
But
of Brock
that's all
Purdy, let
fine.
me
But
ask.
Diego Pavia is not starting this year. Whether you draft him, take a flyer, take him in the 5th, the
No,
6th, undrafted. That's not
no,
and the
no,
idea
not unless
that
you're
Dak
trading.
sucks is not true. The idea that you don't
No,
like
it's not
paying a
true.
quarterback $60 million is a different conversation. But
That's a
Dak
fair
Prescott don't
conversation, but yeah,
suck. He's one of the best throwers of the football in
nah.
the world. Period.
He's runner-up MVP 2 years ago. No,
And almost
he's
again. He was probably in the
and
voting for a
almost again.
long time this year.
Oh no, if we had any kind of a defense, he'd have been in top 3 in the votes. Because he was for the first half of the season, he was number 1 for the first 6 weeks. So he definitely was in the running. It's just his defense let him down. I brought up Brock Purdy. I want to ask little Cowboys, everybody watching, and you, Coach,
Hmm.
who this year, what quarterback this year, right? Because we were just talking about Diego Pablo has a chance to be a Brock Purdy, right? And we've seen what a
Yeah,
Brock Purdy did to a Jimmy Garoppolo, right? A guy who you expected this is gonna be their starter for 2 or 3 years, oh Jimmy G.
you're right.
And
It happens.
what quarterback this year currently on a team has a chance to get Brock Purdy? Because I've got 2 in mind. You go
What
ahead.
quarterback has a chance to get Brock Purdy? Man, I don't.
Meaning as of
Yeah, I
right
know.
now,
I know
on
what you
face
mean.
value.
I just have
Okay,
to
yeah.
take a. I have to, since we're in the off season, and it's not like I've been watching these teams as of last week. It makes me think about what I have to adjust. Who picked up who in the off season? Who did something as of last week? Kyler Murray's on a new team. So there's a lot that comes into
Right, with the
mind. Tell me
Vikings, yeah.
your two, and let me just agree or disagree.
So, number one, I believe, and I don't think this is going to be a shock to anybody. And he's probably got, and then I've got one that's kind of a may shock some people, but I really do believe he's got a chance to get purdied. But the first guy who I believe has the best chance to get brocked up and get Brock purdied, and what I mean by that is a guy who currently on his team is expected to be the future starter, but all of a sudden a fifth or later pick round quarterback comes in and outplays him and takes his job, right? Like Brock Purdy did to Jimmy G. And I believe Bryce Young. The Carolina Panthers have to absolutely consider taking a, like Lil Dallas said, a flyer at quarterback at some point in this draft and taking a Newsmeyer, somebody. They have A-Lar, Drew A-Lar. They have to because they know that Bryce Young has limited them, and while he played pretty decent last year and won him a playoff game and all that, you know what I mean, and whatever it was, they still absolutely have to think about possibly a future without Bryce Young because he could be holding what's actually a pretty good roster back. And so, you know, they have to take a chance on it. And so I think if they draft a Diego Pavla, fourth or fifth round or something like that, or one of these guys that I mentioned, Bryce Young might get outplayed. Now, here's one that's going to shock people. That one might be an obvious because Carolina's, he's on the last year of his deal, yada yada. This one, I think a lot of people are looking at like, oh, they got a new head coach coming in there. They got a pretty good team. They got some young talent. They got a pretty, they're trying to rebuild that offensive line, so on and so forth. They got the fifth pick in the draft. That old Jackson Dart, he's going to be
Oh,
that starter there.
yeah, he is.
That's the,
Yes, he is. They're not even thinking about it.
I told you this is undercard, is the underdog of this scenario.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that Jackson Dart has a shot at being Brock Purdy because John Harbaugh,
He
who's the
just
quarterback
Brock
behind
Purdy
Jackson Dart?
somebody.
Who? Russell Wilson's retired ass,
No,
for lack of better
Daniel
words and
Jones.
late words. No, Daniel Jones been
Oh,
somewhere
they were
else.
already. He was already up out of there before they even drafted him.
Yeah,
Right.
Jackson Dart's first year was last year, bro,
Right.
and
I
he
know.
didn't even get
Yeah.
on the field until after Russell Wilson decided to retire. He
They
didn't even
won some
start till week
games.
6. Yeah, but he could, bro. Russell Wilson beat us
Hey,
with that
Rick's
crap
on it.
team.
Pittsburgh, Drew Ayler or Newsmeyer, both Pittsburgh type.
Yes,
Yeah,
and yes.
both good. Very good.
not not Aaron Rodgers with Mike McCarthy over there.
No, no
That's for
chance.
sure. Not a chance of that. No, that won't happen. Yeah, I actually think I haven't mocked a lot with Pittsburgh having a couple picks this year. Them either taking a quarterback with the second first round pick or in the third. So you're on it, Rick. Pittsburgh definitely needs one. And I think a Mike McCarthy guy is a Drew Alar, to be honest with you. But also, here's the thing, too. Coach and I did a first round mock, or actually, we did a full 3 round mock for all 32 teams the other day. And we actually
What
had
does
Pittsburgh
Jeff
and Mike McCarthy
Sims?
just completely rebuilding. Just completely rebuilding.
What does Jeff Sims just fix the fumbles?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
lost. Is that it? That's a deep
Yeah,
dive.
I'm
I
not,
have
not a
no
clue.
idea. Jeff Sims. Listen, we were tried to get AI to do a mock draft for me earlier just to get another opinion from ESPN or PFF, and it started making up players, and we called it out. That sounds like what Jeff Sims is to me. I've done a handful of mock drafts. Coach, do you know Jeff Sims? No.
Fix the fumbles, huh? Who? I mean,
Apparently,
we did
I
fumble in
think
some
Jeff
key
Sims has
moments last
a
year.
fumble problem, but I'm not sure.
Whoever Jeff Sims is, tell him, listen, you got to, if you got fumble problems, you got to keep the oils and the grease and the bad stuff off your hands. So, um, and enjoy Mountain Dew. Y'all listen, 774-290-2200. Call the show. We'll get you in. You can't, if you're, I don't know. You really think, so John, okay, because here's the thing, right? When you're taking the job as a head coach, you're taking it either for location and some money, and you're kind of just, I'm going to see what I can do with this team on my way out, i.e., Mike McCarthy, right? Mike McCarthy ain't showing up with no intentions of like, I'm not saying he doesn't want to show up and win a Super Bowl. He does. But he's not going in it with the mindset of like, it's for my legacy, it's for my career. I got to make sure I'm getting paid for the next 20 years. I got to, you know what I mean? No, he's a legend in Green Bay. He 3-12-5 win seasons in Dallas. He's got enough clout. He could consult, he could do a lot of things. It's not a, he's not coaching for money, even though it pays good. He's not coaching for clout. He has a Super Bowl. He's been a quarterback whisperer. When we talk about Dak's runner-up MVP year, that was under Mike McCarthy. So when you're taking a job as a head coach, you have to look at location, and then you have to look at roster, and then ultimately the biggest thing is quarterback. Am I messing with a team that has to rebuild? Am I messing with a team that expects me to come in and draft a quarterback round one, and then if I don't make him look good, all of a sudden as Mike McCarthy or something like that, I'm out of here because I couldn't be the quarterback guru that everybody expected of me. So when it comes to John Harbaugh and Jackson Dart, you think he took that job because he sees the potential, the young talent there, the defense that's kind of stout, the young offensive line, or do you think he took that job because he's like, yeah, Jackson Dart is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're John Harbaugh and you show up to a New York football team, results going to be expected. They're not. It's not. Your leash is going to be a lot shorter than per se a Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh, who you see Pittsburgh has had two long tenure coaches. Mike McCarthy isn't like old by the standards of being ancient. You know what I mean? So like he can still coach for another decade. There's no reason to believe that they're not going to just give Mike McCarthy a leash and say, "Hey, draft some guys, fix the trenches, do what you got to do." You know what I mean? John Harbaugh, you don't get that leash. You had a team on the cusp of being a champion. We've got a young, healthy quarterback that we think can run backed up by a running back named Cam Scatterbo, who we think
Mm-hmm.
is something special. And we've put money into the trenches. John Harbaugh shows up with expectations, bro. And so that's why I think the Brock Purdy thing exists, because if he sees a quarterback that gives him any shot to win another game or two that Jackson Dart don't, he will try it. And the organization will let him try it. So that's what I'm saying. And so we just better hope with that coach over there that Jackson Dart ain't in. And so when you say he's going to start, coach, why? You think he's the real deal?
Jackson Dart? Yeah.
Okay.
Where did he go
That's
amongst
fair.
quarterbacks?
He had a really good deep ball. I'll give him that.
Where did he go amongst quarterbacks in that draft? Third? Was he the third quarterback drafted out of that draft?
The Giants had the
Well, I almost
fourth
have to
pick.
take a look. If they didn't
He
pick
may
him
have been
there,
the
that's not where he didn't go. I'm gonna look it up for you.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
I need to
find
see
out.
it.
Yeah, no, I can't stand New York or Philly, so I don't know when or where they pick. Except
pay
for I just know
attention.
when Philly, traded with us. Yeah, no, when they're on the clock, I try to look away. Uh, but no, we can only hope Jackson Dart isn't that guy, because if he is that guy, then
Right, because
you
here's the
know,
deal: they picked it. They picked it 3, but they picked Abdul Carter.
right? Jackson Dart was their second round pick.
He was their second first round pick at 25.
They had
So
two. Okay,
he
they're trading
was
Saquon. That's right. Or no, they didn't trade Saquon. He became a free agent. What idiots! I can't even.
the second quarterback off the board. Cam Ward went number 1, and they just waited and picked the second one. And he'll be better. He'll be better than Cam Ward. Sorry, Mike Tag and others,
He'll be better than
Knicks
Cam
and all.
Ward.
And why there's so many Miami fans? What's up with you guys?
He'll be better than Cam Ward.
Yeah, he'll be the best quarterback
Okay.
in that class. Mm-hmm. He almost already is. He's ahead. He's ahead right now in terms of what I've seen on tape.
With his legs and his deep ball, yes. So I guess if
No,
you're
with his
talking about
freaking throw, with his ball play, with his throwing the football, which is what quarterbacks do.
yeah, no, he made it to the NFL. He's good. I just don't think
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell made it to the NFL. He wasn't good. I'm serious. He wasn't good. He was
no,
athletically
I feel you.
talented. He was
I
not
know you're
good.
not playing.
He
I
was
know
not
you're
good.
not playing when you say that. No, I know. I know. I watched Quincy Carter play football, so I know. Um I guess
Carter.
We just better hope not. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, we already talked about it a few weeks ago. I told you the two teams vying for the NFC East this year are not the Eagles and the Commanders like it
No,
was
it's us
last
and the
year.
Giants. I agree.
It's gonna be us and the Giants.
Yeah,
I
I don't think
really
you're the
think
only one
that.
saying that.
No, probably not. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are still gonna have the Eagles with a lot of their championship roster. They're still gonna have them probably as of right now,
With
this
some
very
of the
minute, the front
biggest
runners of the NFC
with
East.
some of the biggest names, but a lot of the middle and rotation took a hit. Took a hit on defense.
It
Like
did.
they ain't got
It
no
did.
depth on defense. Don't let it, find out where they are if they took 2 or 3 defensive injuries like we did. They'd be
Yeah. Yeah,
struggling.
I think with Fangio being their defensive coordinator, the fact that
Hmm.
they fixed the offensive coordinator problems and they brought in somebody that they think is going to help, um, the with their offensive line or defensive line still being very formidable. When we talk about the defensive line, two first team All Pro, corners over there, and Dejean and Mitchell. It's not they lost pieces, but where we didn't necessarily lose the pieces. We didn't just gain a ton. We didn't gain as much as they lost. So I don't think people moved our needle up for us as much as they maybe moved it down for them. And I don't think New York might actually be the team where people have, if you were to rank the NFC East right now, I would almost bet you that most people have it Philly, New York, us, Washington.
Rick says AJ won't be there by the start of the season.
That's that's possible. But
Oh,
I'm gonna
well,
tell you right now,
it's
though,
been on a
that might be
knife
better for
edge.
the team.
Mhm.
It could be better for the
Mm.
team, though. Now, not saying it's going to be better for Jalen Hurts and what they want to do offensively. It could just be better for the team in general. It could be better for the offense and the kind of the way they click. But you've already seen the reports and the talks that are coming out. Jalen Hurts does limit that offense. He holds him back. The offense doesn't flow with the way he pats the ball, holds on to it, doesn't trust his arm over the middle of the field, the way they want to open things up, which is why AJ's over there. Dude, I was just 2 yards clear of my guy. You didn't look at me. You're there patting the football. You know what I mean? Playing playing thumbsies with security dom or whatever. I think a security guard walking around behind the head coach
Security
like it's
Tom.
some kind of like it's a bar. You know what I mean? Like this is football people. Have some
He's famous. I
class.
think he's a Philly mascot, a bouncer. It
He
makes
he
sense.
might as well. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. They treat it like a bar over there. Everybody's getting
Glorified
hammered,
bouncer.
beating up the opposing fans.
Post June
You
1st
know,
trade, Rick says. He'll be traded after June 1st. We're going to mark that one down, Rick. He'll be around. We're going to call it.
No, listen, Rick's on it because Philly's just gonna wait. There's no reason to shop AJ right now. Maybe he has a change of heart in the new offensive coordinator by the time, like he said, post June 1st rolls around. He's like, all right, I'm gonna change, blah, 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 whatever. Maybe they have some kind of reconciliation. I don't think it's enough, and I don't think the new coordinator is gonna want him and Jalen Hurts on the same team. So he's not wrong, and it makes sense for Philly to do that because who's desperate? Maybe New England hasn't gotten any other wide receivers since then. You know what I mean? Maybe in the draft they didn't like the guys that were there, and they weren't able to get anybody. And so they're like, "Hey, Philly, we're New England. We went to the Super Bowl last year. We need a wide receiver. Take a couple of our picks next year.
For New England.
We're over here." Yeah. So, and that's smart because after June 1st, you obviously get next year's picks, but you've already drafted this year, so you're comfortable with that.
Right.
So, you know, that's when I could see us moving off potentially a Deron Bland or something like that. And I know that might shock you that I just said that, but
That's the first time. Yeah, first time hearing of that one.
yeah. No, I see a few
I
guys
see
on our
what you're talking
team.
about. June 1st, though, right? That's going to be, you're going to draft 2 corners and be like, whew, all
Right,
these,
Christian Parker
everyone we
all
brought
of a
in is
sudden
better
goes
than anyone we had. Kobe Durant's better. Both these corners are better. But, these
Savon
rookies, like, oh
Rebel.
my
We drafted
gosh.
Jamon McCoy. Like Deron Bland's making too much money.
Yeah. Yeah. Hadn't
So no,
considered that one just
listen,
yet, but
and I'm just talking about like you said, post June 1st cuts and trades. Terrence Steele is obviously potentially on the block. Shocker, but I think Deron Bland with Christian Parker coming in the building and what Deron Bland gives you as a DB, I think he's potentially on the block. Um, uh, I wouldn't assume anybody else. Tyler Guyton, maybe, right? But I don't think so because I think what you do if you end up deciding, hey, we have to have a left tackle in this draft, or we're going to make a post June 1st trade for a left tackle. and try to really sew up this offensive line because Guyton's not taking the strides. I think he can shift over to right tackle and give you at least what Terrence Steele was, if not a little more, just because he's younger and still has a little bit of ceiling to improve. So if you decide he's not it at left tackle, you just move him over to right, right?
Yeah, 100%. I assume that works.
So,
You know, there's
right.
always, like I said,
Mhm.
there's question marks of the, like I said, being an NFL coach and right beside these guys and stuff, and understanding the
Yeah.
nuances of what you're looking for.
Oh, it's got to be tough, dude.
I have to
And you
assume
know,
that a former first round pick, that it can't be that big of a deal. It's not that hard to, Jack. It's not that hard to play um, right tackle when you're used to playing left tackle.
no, it's incredibly difficult.
More money ball.
No. Yeah, no, it's impossible. It's right tackle is extremely hard. Do you
It's
know
either real
you heard of a
easy or
guy
real
named Michael
impossible, right? Because
Parsons?
some people do it like this is easier.
What do
Like it's
you
literally
know
just
you heard of a couple guys named Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Michael Parsons,
yeah.
Miles Garrett.
That's
You
the
heard of
side
those
they
guys?
coming from.
Yeah, right tackles look at those guys a lot. And so that's hard. Have you ever blocked Michael Parsons in real life?
I tried to block some Dallas Cowboy defensive ends, but they told me I would get hurt, so they wouldn't even attempt to
Imagine
actually.
imagine you're a teenager just barreling downhill on a bicycle and you got to try to catch him by the handlebars. Good luck. I mean, I'm serious. That's a good luck. Have you seen the video of Michael Parsons moving the sumo wrestler?
Right,
I
or
know he
fight,
only
or giving
budged
him a
him,
fight at least.
but he budged him.
No, he kind of wins one rep. He gets, yeah.
And let me tell you how much heavier and stronger that sumo wrestler was on a base level than Michael Parsons. So yeah, these tackles and these linemen are doing good work. And that's well, listen, when I say things like Terrence Steele on a trading block, Deron Bland on a trading block, I'm not sitting there over here. I'm not the one to go, this guy's trash, get him off my team. I see I look at things as what's the next progression? How does the team evolve? How do we move? How do we let go of old? How do we improvise? How do we adjust, roster depth, contract? I'm trying to think of it all. Like Landry said, we're trying to speculate GMs over here. We're really trying to get down to the truth of the business. And you can do it with us, 774 uh 290-2200. I almost forgot the number and it's on my screen. 774-290-2200. Give us a call. Fourth and late at the 8. And it is getting late. Where are we at on the Michigan game, coach? Because if nobody's going to call in and that's a game happening over there, we're
I
going to go
know.
watch it.
If it's gotten any
Tell
closer,
me Arizona's doing something.
that's a good question. Right. Tell me Arizona's gotten any closer after halftime. All right, let's see here.
Tell
Let me see.
me they're making moves.
They're getting blown out. 12 minutes to go, and Michigan is up 72 to 45. 27 points. Yeah, it's over.
72-45.
I said they wouldn't go. I said they wouldn't lose by 10 more. They very well may. No, that's basically
Yeah.
that's basically over.
No, they're starting to get up to the point
Now in
now
the
where they may
NBA,
score more than 70
27
because they're
points.
just going
Set
to let them.
27 points. If there was 5 minutes left, you don't know who's won. But
No, 12 minutes is a full quarter. It's not over at all.
no, I said if
No,
there
no,
was in
no.
the NBA, if there were 5 minutes left, you don't know who's won. I'm serious. But
Not unless it's a 25 plus point ball game. You're kind of right, which is not even. uh,
this is a
Think about what
27
we were
point
just
ball
talking
game.
about.
No, this is a 27-point ball game. And I just said if there were 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes to go in the NBA, I don't know that somebody's won because at least 3 times a year someone comes back from that much in 6 minutes or so.
And that's what we were talking about the quality of March Madness in the NBA. There is no way these Michigan defenders, they're probably not going to lose much of this lead. Like I said,
Yeah, probably not
once
going
it
to lose
gets
much of
down
the
to
lead, let
five or
alone the
6 minutes,
game. Right.
let alone the game. When it gets down to 5 or 6 minutes left, they might let them chip away at it just because they know they're not going to score 20
Right.
something
Right.
on them in 5 minutes. They know they're not giving that up, and so they might chip away at it and get it back down to 13 or respectable 11 or something like that. But it's not. They're going to win the game with ease. In the NBA, that should that should never happen. This college basketball game, there's no way these Michigan defenders are letting that happen. No way. And I'm going to tell you right now that in the NBA, sometimes defenses can be trying to not let it happen, and it still does.
Still does.
I don't. the defensive quality of the NBA, I guess it's a give and take because the offensive quality of the NBA is leaps and bounds beyond the
Unbelievable.
offensive.
Unbelievable.
The defensive quality of the college basketball, though, is almost leaps and bounds ahead of the NBA. That's a really weird
People are so much
dynamic they
more
got
bought
there.
in. Kids have been with a coach for 3 years, and and maybe the only coach they've ever had before that, long term, was their high school coach. That's just
Mhm.
so much more bought in. Once they
No,
get to the NBA, they're they're their name instead of the name on the front, right? It just seems like it's that way with
that's a
everybody.
good point. Yep. Mhm. No, and like you said, bought into the program, ready to play hard, playing for a reason, and having to earn it. Because none of the top schools and because the college programs haven't started getting to the we just want the European kids, we just want the score, we just want the, yada yada. And we may see a transition over the next 12 to 15 years in college basketball to the more we'll take more points over defense style. But because it hasn't happened yet, none of these coaches believe that they can take a single possession off, and so they're still coaching. We
Hard.
rotate,
Yeah.
we separate, you know what I mean,
Yeah, they get coached
and
hard.
I will
That's
replace
what it
you
is,
if you
right?
don't.
That coaching in college
Yeah,
it's
they
an
still get coached
entirely
hard.
different story. Coaching in college seems to be everything. Tenure
Right,
coaches with systems, with players who know what they're gonna what to expect when they get
right.
to the place. That all helps with these
Yep,
programs and these environments and these UNCs and Dukes and Michigan
right.
States and that I could go on in the college ranks. And then even all the way down to these small school programs who keep showing up at least in the tournament and keep trying to shock somebody. VCU, if
Yep,
they're not beating somebody, they're giving them a game, this or that. It's all these tenure
yep.
coaches and stuff. Whereas once it gets to the NBA, whew, coaches get some credit sometimes, but it seems like most of it is for managing superstars, just for no one blowing up, for not having
Mhm.
sideline rifts and locker room tiffs and so on and so forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
in an
it's
NBA
really
head
interesting when
coach
you
is it's just so upfront, right there on the sideline, taking the heat and stuff.
I
More
wonder
so
if
than an NFL coach. Pretty crazy.
oh, way more. And I wonder if it'll take the swing because it's interesting when you say it like that. We've seen swings in sports like that because we may see college basketball, like I said, shift to more of the offense, taking defensive reps off because we know we want to score, we want to play more spread out, we want to play more fast paced, yada yada yada. Because we've seen the NFL adopt it in college and back and forth, right? It was for a while there, you didn't hardly throw the ball in college, but because of the way they were using some of these speed schemes and these West Coast offenses in the NFL, all of a sudden college coaches were like, well, hell, I think we can get our players to pull off this West Coast offense stuff, right? And then at the same point, because of some of these athletic quarterbacks coming to the NFL, i.e., Cam Newton, guys like this, you started to see the NFL adapt more heavy packages and wildcat formations and things like that and run college run plays. So we've kind of seen adaptations happen back and forth. It'd be real curious to see if college basketball ever gets that trickle down effect and takes the NBA shift of we want to spread the floor, a lot more zone, keep it offensive. We
Yeah.
want to shoot from
Well,
deep.
they
We want,
well they
we'll see
created the three trend. It created the three trend. It was in
for sure.
college. It was in college that kids started shooting the lights out before they got to the NBA, and it started somewhere around the famed Jerry McNamara, JJ Redick, area of 2000 ish,
That's fair.
2001,
Yeah.
2 ish. That
Right.
it's not but 2 or 3 years after them that Steph Curry's coming through Davidson in 2000 and hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no,
5,
it
6.
may have been a handful of years, yeah, 5 or 6 years, but no, like you said, the kids coming up watching the NBA and the college at the time were watching those guys shoot, and all of a sudden it bred the guys like the
I
Kyle
can remember,
Korvers, the
yeah, Kyle Korver's right, and
Clay Thompsons,
right after
the
guys like
you know,
that, I can remember guys like I can't even remember the kid's name, but from small schools in Chattanooga who were lighting it up right around tournament time, um, starting to shoot near the logo and stuff, and I was like, what is this? The kids just pull up. These are jumpers from 38. Crazy.
oh yeah. Let
Anyway,
me see here. Sorry, I was looking at something.
no. But there's no end of the game to
Um,
catch. But 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we've
just
been on with you guys for a while. It was
we're
definitely
talking to
fun.
y'all. I'm talking to him. If no one's talking to us,
There
you'll
was
have to talk to us next time, right?
That's right. No, I think you will. Fourth and late at the 8 tomorrow. It's usually a Wednesday gig, but as you guys know, tomorrow's Easter Sunday. So go spend it with your family. Do what you do, say your graces, and find all the golden eggs you can, because you know what they say golden eggs have in them this year, coach?
What's that?
Extra draft picks.
Good. At
You,
least you
you
didn't
get to
say
pick
Golden
if
Nito. I know that's what's hot right now.
if if you find the golden egg this year, they're gonna do an Easter egg hunt for all GMs, and if Jerry finds the golden egg, we get an extra pick in the first round.
Gotta have it.
I'd have it pick 33, the last pick in the first round for the first time ever. That's totally a lie. That was made up. Don't take us for what we say. We don't always telling the truth in here,
Do what you need to do. Do what you have to do, Coach. You know what it is.
but you always, always, always fair and responsibly. Till next time, guys.
Your time to make the call is now. It's 4th and late at the 8.